I'm Rowan.
And I'm Calvin.
And you're watching episode 3.14 of In the Zone! Today we're going to be discussing the Twilight Zone episode 5 characters in search of an exit. We're going to spoil the whole thing, so if you don't want to spoil it for you, check it out before you watch this. This is the first episode of the second half. So it's like, so if you want to think about it, if you want to get really weird with it, it's like we're at where is everybody now? And now the last episode is going to be where we're at for Once Upon a Time.
That's wacky.
So it's going to take a pretty long time.
Wow.
When you think of where is everybody, that was a long time ago. You can place your bets in the comments below. How long are we going to last? Are we going to even get through this season? Are we going to even get through this episode? We might have a fight, and then who knows?
Might have a rumble, might have to break up the band.
So a guy wakes up in a cylinder.
He has a mangled military uniform.
And there's like a light above in the cylinder.
The first couple seconds of it, like, he's just looking for a place out, and there's been no dialogue, and already you're kind of interested, like a little bit, at least to see what's gonna happen.
I think when you start an episode without dialogue, it's always a really strong way to start it. Because it really gets you like, what's going on here? Like, the Midnight Sun starts that way, and it's really effective. Yeah, that's a good technique. So he's really confused, and he finds a clown, who I found a little bit annoying. He wasn't funny like a clown. He's just like, well, you are.
Well, I mean, I don't think was he supposed to be funny? I mean,
he wasn't supposed to be funny, but
I just got the impression he's just a strange character.
He's just a weird man. So there's a clown, and then the other guy who just woke up, he's an army major. And he doesn't know who he is. He doesn't know who he himself is. Right. And then, he's like, the clown is like, I'm a clown without a circus, and you're a major without a war. Like, they're just sort of, they don't really know anything about themselves other than, like, I'm a clown. I'm an army major. So obviously, that's a little weird. The major doesn't know where they are, who they are, what they are. Oh, also, by the way, there's other people in that cylinder. There is a bagpiper, a homeless man, and a ballerina. The bagpiper and the homeless man don't really do anything. They're just sort of there for filler.
Yeah, but the weird thing is, like, you think it's only going to be the two of them, and then he's like, oh, wait, there's more.
I found that hard to believe that he didn't notice them out of the corner of his eye.
And then the bagpiper, it's really bad.
He is so bad.
They're like, you can tell they're all, like, misfits. Like, the bagpiper, his pipes are all, like, flat, and it's like...
Yeah, it's like, the bagpipes, personally... Have you ever met someone who likes the bagpipes?
I'm fine with bagpipes. I mean, they're okay. There's a guy at the camp I go to in the summer. One of the counselors plays bagpipes.
The reason I don't like bagpipes is someone who's really good at the bagpipes and someone who's really bad at the bagpipes are not going to sound that different, you know?
What do you mean?
They're both going to sound like...
Oh, I can tell the difference.
So the ballerina's like, no one knows anything. They just sort of woke up one day. Yeah. They have no memory of who they are. They're just sort of there. They don't know how long they were going to be there for, what the past is, what's going on, what the future will hold. Yeah. And then Rodney's intro is like peering in over the cylinder.
He says, we won't end the name here, but we'll only explain it, which is like a lot of times what he does. So you know already that they're not going to completely resolve their problem. You're just going to get a better understanding of what's going on.
And you basically just know that the whole episode is just sort of going to lead up to a big twist ending. So is that what you're thinking? So have you seen this episode before today? Throughout the episode, were you sort of like trying to come up with explanations for like the twist?
Yes, definitely.
What were some of the ones you came up with?
Well, Are They in Hell? I mean, I kind of came up with that one before they did.
Yeah, it seems like a route that they might
I thought they were under a microscope being experimented on.
Oh, that would be cool.
That's what I think.
That's a good one.
I thought they said something about that. So I thought something they said, I thought I hinted at that.
We fade to black. We come up, and the major is going around looking for an exit.
Touching the wall, and then everyone else is like, I've already tried that.
Right. The clown is like, it's hopeless. Why you waste your time? They don't know what's up there, what the light source is. I mean, a lot of this is padding. Just people talking about, I don't know what this is, what that is.
This is one of the most padded episodes we've seen.
It's true. This is really one of the most padded episodes of the Twilight Zone. It's just literally until they start stacking on top of each other the second time, everything is pretty much whatever. They all offer many ideas.
Maybe we're all insane.
Some of them don't make any sense.
The interesting thing is, they haven't felt hunger or thirst.
Yes.
Which is like
So that's why they haven't been eating or drinking for like a long time. There's a loud bell type noise.
There's a bell type noise a couple times, and then the major, and this is why I capitalized. Let us out. He like starts going.
That's like, the letter L.
Yeah. He starts.
Huh.
Yeah. I'm trying to get them down as fast as I can. But my handwriting's not the best.
Do you hold a pencil like this? Because if so, that could explain it.
No.
Oh, okay.
But I'm trying to get it down really fast. I don't really care about handwriting.
So one cool part is when the ballerina dances to the ugly bagpipes to pass the time. There's something about it only happens for like 10 seconds, but it's just sort of this beautiful haunting image. This moment that I really enjoyed. And then the major takes a super long time to give his next idea, which is, we are in hell, fade to black. Because they couldn't really think of anything to fade to black on, so they just needed like another explanation. I mean, it's not going to be important later. Turns out that's not where they are, but... And also the thing about that is, why would you do that? Why would you offer suggestions for the twist? Because then the audience knows, oh, it's not that. Because wouldn't it be interesting if you made it to think that they were there, and then the audience is there, but then you sort of like switch it on them? Rather than eliminating that possibility?
There's still a lot more possibilities left.
Yeah, that's true.
Like I said, the microscope one, I thought that's what I thought most of the episode.
We come up and then the major is still looking for ways, and they're like, what is dum-dum?
And then, who said that gets the idea?
The clown is like, we can do acrobatics, but then the ballerina's like, oh, they gives me an idea. You know, did you notice what was funny? Instead of saying, wait a minute, she goes, wait a minute. She goes, wait a minute. For some reason, I thought that was very funny.
I didn't notice it at all.
It's very hard to notice. She's like, oh, maybe that would work, and the major's like, yeah, we could stack on top of each other.
Whoa!
And then the clown like doesn't want to fall, so he doesn't want to do it. And then the bagpiper doesn't think.
And they convince him, and they're like.
But eventually they do it. So they're on top of each other.
They're going up.
And then the ballerina climbs up, but then she can't reach it. But then the bell rings, so then they all fall. They fall in a very undramatic way. Like they're all just sort of like. The ballerina's like. Oh. They could be. Ah! But they're like. Oh wee. That's sort of dumb. She's like, oh, my leg hurts. The ballerina was so annoying. She was like, I always talk like this. Maybe we're in the dream. I don't know.
Well,
and the clown is like, I'm wacky. Oh. So then they decide to try again. The major, they're going to do it without the girl because her leg is hurt. But the major's idea is he takes his sword, wraps cloth around it.
He takes the clown's
and then he can get like the sword over there and he can climb up. He climbs up, and then the sword eventually sticks. He climbs up the rope, and he falls into the snow outside, and they're all sad. Clown's like, maybe he's right. Maybe we are in hell. But then he's a toy outside in the ground.
Whoa, plot twist. That was actually
I think it's a pretty cool plot twist.
It was interesting.
They were all in a cylinder for the Christmas doll drive for the orphanage. And there's a woman ringing the bell to like bring attention.
And that girl picks it up.
Yeah. And then we see them in there as toys. And it's cool because the toys look exactly like them. Yeah. Then the ballerina toy cries. And then Rod is like, don't worry, they'll eventually be loved by children.
I thought it was alright, pretty good. Way too much padding.
Oh yeah, it was pretty boring.
I mean, the twist was like the part for me that was like,
whoa. I think that was an interesting thing, but the thing is, what you have to realize, these writers, is that you can't build an episode around a twist. There has to be more to the twist, because, it's going to be a cool 2 minutes at the end, but what are we going to do the rest of the time? It's like, you need to be like, the eye of the beholder, the twist is awesome, and then everything before that is really cool as well, because you have compelling characters, interesting stuff going on.
It's like, so, what they think is like, we're going to try to make a bunch of people just sitting in a room and make it interesting. Which it kind of is for a little bit, but then you're like, okay, this is getting old.
Because the whole point of being in that cylinder would be boring, and you get to experience that as an audience member.
At the beginning, you're thinking, oh, this is so interesting, what's going on?
Yeah, exactly.
But eventually it gets old, you want to see something new.
In an episode like this, you know there's going to be a twist. Because there's nothing before the twist, you're like, it has to end with the twist. In addition to there being a twist, there also has to be like a surprise, like, I didn't know that there would be a twist, you know, sort of? And here you're just waiting for the twist to happen.
Sometimes I kind of like knowing that there's some sort of twist. twist. Like, I mean, if you
Then
don't
it's
know what's...
less...
If
even
it-
though
if it's, like,
if you don't know what it
what's
is,
going
it's
on.
still less surprising if you know that there is going to be a twist. Like, if you know the whole episode revolves around the solution. Whereas, Perchance to Dream, for example, it's like, we have a great episode, and then we have an awesome twist at the end that no one saw coming. Because we just thought... Because it could have been without the twist, but then it's like... Oh, that reminds me of this idea I had.
What?
Where, we can make, like, a DVD of, like... This is totally illegal. Where we take all the Twilight Zone episodes that have a twist ending, and we cut out the part with the twist ending. And we would see some episodes will still be really good, like Perchance to Dream, but then, like, this one would be so boring. You know? Like, The Invaders would be so boring. I mean, it already is. You know, wouldn't that be an interesting
idea? You gave that one
idea?
a terrible rating.
Yeah.
Like, even I did.
Yes. It's true. Oh man, we got through this episode quick because there isn't that much
Not
plot
much.
when you take away the padding.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is one of those episodes that's pretty well liked, but not so good. You know what? This would be a lot better if it was like the shelter, if there was some sort of argument and they were getting mad at each other. Like, if there was some
That's
fight.
what I thought was gonna happen.
Yeah, there could have been some fight where it was like, oh, I want to be the first person to leave. No, I do.
There's a rumble.
Yeah, if they had a conflict or if they had any sort of conflict, that would have been good.
Interesting.
But they just don't do it. Yeah, it's pretty flawed. I mean, there are moments of, so sort of interesting moments sometimes. I mean, mainly the twist, but yeah, it's unsatisfying overall. The acting is okay. What's good about it? The twist is good. There's a nice moment when she's dancing to awful bagpipe music that really spoke to me. I don't know, that was like 10 seconds, but I enjoyed that.
Just a couple parts where you're like, the stuff they say, at least it like makes you wonder. At least.
Yeah, at the beginning it's
like
interesting because you don't know.
That's what makes it better than the other one. The
Invaders.
Yeah, that's what makes it better than the Invaders. Is like, you know, at least they're saying stuff and talking to each other.
They're not just going.
6.5. 6. Yeah, 6. 6 out of 10.
I'm not a big fan of you changing your rating mid saying it. Like, just cause you're just looking at me for approval.
6.5. Okay, done.
No, now this is even. Is that? What is the rating?
It's final. It's final. Rowan's turn.
I'm gonna say 6.5. Is at least a little generous. 4.5.
Rating split.
Rating split. Next week, check us out for a hopefully better episode. We're going to be discussing Equality of Mercy.